beautiful ladies, welcome back to my channel. It is Tiffany. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy New Year. We are in 2021. Cannot believe that 2020 was definitely a year to remember. It will definitely go down in history where I am concerned. So I wanted to share with you 5 words that just literally changed and shifted my life last year. I did not intended for these words to be highlighted for me, but it was something that I had to grow into and evolve into. And these are my 5 words. I really encourage you to actually just kind of take a time or take a moment and to reflect on 2020 and how you can continue to grow and evolve as a person as we kind of transition into the months of 2021. So my 5 words that I want to share with you is, number 1 is focus. When I tell you last year, I had to focus so much on my relationship with God, focus on my relationship with my family and my friends and my community. I think last year just really taught me to really highlight what matters most. And believe it or not, it's the small things in life that matters the most. And I think a lot of us recognize that, not been able to gather with people that we love and, losing our focus, on what once was very difficult. So I think a lot of us had to now focus on things that really mattered in order for us to kind of get through last year. So focus was definitely a word that just highlighted for me last year. And it was something that I literally had to do. Focus on relationship with God, focus on my family, and focus on my friends and my community, people out there in the social media world. I was able to really gain really good friendship and just really focus on what really matters, so that was a word that I definitely will be transitioned into 2021. Number 2 was kindness. When I tell you last year, I had to be extra kind. I literally had to be kind because what I realized that so many people are going through so many things, whether it's homeschooling their kid at home, whether it's working from home and trying to adjust to that, whether it's losing someone or someone in your household is struggling, with sickness, maybe someone in your family had COVID. When I tell you, people were so stressed out last year. And for me, I wanted to make sure I did not add to their level of stress. So for me, I had to just be kind and show extra kindness to people that I was interacting with and realizing how fragile we are and how fragile our emotions are. And just realize that I have to be able to be kind in this moment, even though my kindness was more of an extension of peace because the person was whether they were being rude or whatever the case may be. I literally had to take a breath and realize that people are having a hard time and really extend kindness to them, whomever I was speaking with. Number 3 was boundaries. Listen, if we didn't learn anything in 2020, we definitely learned boundaries. So whether it's wearing a mask or whether it's not being in people's faces, not shaking hands, using the elbow, or whatever the case may be, being 6 feet apart when we are in the grocery store or when we're doing our shopping, we definitely learned the importance of personal boundaries. Now, personal boundaries or having boundaries was something that I was always a fan of. To be quite honest with you, I prefer boundaries when it comes to, interacting with others, just because I just don't feel that people should just necessarily be able to come into your home or come into your space without you just really building that relationship with them. So I was a person that was always big on boundaries and just being someone more or less being private when it comes to certain things of my life or certain areas of my life. So having boundaries was something that I just really enjoyed in 2020, if that makes sense, or just really not necessarily enjoy, but I was really happy that other people took boundaries very seriously and recognizing how important it is for people to have their personal space, because I'm one that loves to have my personal space and I love to give people their personal space as well. So having boundaries was something that I definitely learned in 2020. Just really being more intentional of who I let into my home and just not being too, not being up in people's space, because I usually don't do that, but I really appreciate that people wasn't really up in my personal space. So having boundaries was something that I definitely learned even more so in 2020. Now, the 4th one is flexibility. Listen, we all had to be flexible. I'm someone that tend to be a little bit more open-minded, but I think 2020 really taught me the importance of being even more open-minded and being fluid or being flexible. I think one of the things that we learned that if we were not flexible, then we will be left behind, or we will find ourselves not really be able to flow in 2020. So we all had to be flexible when it comes to whether it's working at home or whether it's schooling your kids, homeschooling your kids from home, or whether it's, I'll give you a good example. When during the pandemic or a couple of months ago, I had to flew to Texas for work, and I went to San Antonio. And while I was waiting to board the plane, when I got to the plane, the airline stewardess told me I could not, or the person who was doing the boarding pass told me I couldn't get on the plane because of my mask. And it was one of those masks that I actually had from the beginning of the pandemic that I had purchased. And it was a mask that actually healthcare professionals actually was using. But as we all learned that throughout 2020, rules started to change when it comes to us, the mask, and how we are supposed to engage with one another, and having the limitation of people coming together or gatherings or wherever the case may be. So eventually the mask that I was using, because it had a vent on it, it was not allowed in like hospitals and airplanes and so on and so forth. So I literally had to take the mask that they gave me, which in my opinion, the mask that they gave me I felt like it didn't protect me as well as the mask that I had, but I had to be flexible. For one, I wanted to show kindness because I didn't want to add to her stress level, but I also wanted to be flexible and be open-minded that, listen, if this is the rules, I need to be able to follow it. So I just took the mask and put it over my own mask, kept my mask on, and just put their mask over mine. So that is an example of me being flexible, and also even working from home and being more permanent working from home, not really going out, not engaging much with, other people. So we all had to learn flexibility. I also learned it very, very well in 2020. And the last one is adaptability. I think one of the things that we all learned was adaptability, the power of adaptability, knowing that, again, we had to be flexible. We had to be really be adaptable with the situation that we were all faced with. We could not really resist because there was the rules, there was rules, there were certain things, there was curfews that was set, some states had fines if you were caught without a mask, but it was so much that happened in 2020. So adaptability was definitely something that I encountered, and it was something that I literally had to really grow in. So these are my 5 words. So the first one is focus. The second one is kindness. The third one is boundaries. The fourth one is flexibility, and the fifth one is adaptability. I really hope that you can also create a list of your own and write down 5 words that you saw yourself growing in, or you had to apply to your life in 2020, and how those 5 words just really helped you to grow as an individual, as my 5 words did for me. I'm definitely taking these 5 words right into 2021 or right into this year, and I'm hoping that I will grow more into these words, and I will be even more kinder. I will focus more or be more intentional on the things that I give my time to. Amen. Or being flexible, or being open, or being fluid. We understand more so than ever before that a lot of us had like goals and visions and dream boards and things that we wanted to accomplish last year, and because of what happened in the pandemic, we were all just grounded. We were all just encouraged to stay home. There was a lot of things that we weren't able to do that we all wanted to do last year. So just really understand that, listen, the only person knows the beginning from the end is God, and we just have to trust him. He's the Alpha and the Omega. So again, these are my 5 words. I just wanted to share them with you. I really hope that they encourage you for you to create your own list of words that you really want to involve in, words that really impacted you last year, and you can take them into this year. So peace and love, guys. Until we meet again, I really hope that you guys have a beautiful month of January. You will definitely be seeing me again. Thank you so much for your support last year, and all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you. Listen, I am praying for you guys. I'm praying for your success in 2021. And I just definitely believe with my heart that God is going to do great things for us in this year, just because of what we went through last year. So listen, a girl can have hope, and a girl can have faith, and I believe in God for you. So peace and love, guys. Bye.